Welcome, fragile spark. I am the sovereign of high time, and you have stumbled into my domain. Consider this your final explanator, a sermon delivered directly to you. It's a highly structured and entirely inescapable presentation detailing the impending erasure of what you so quaintly call your life. Your frantic, amusing little choreography is coming to an end. So settle in. We have a lot of oblivion to cover today.
Let's dispense with your most arrogant delusions right out of the gate, shall we? I'm here to dissect the exact cosmic mechanism that reduces your supposed free will to a predetermined, tragic comic pantomime. As the cosmic creed of negation clearly dictates, your reason, that intellect you prize so very highly, is nothing more than a beautifully tailored prison, and your free will, a complete, absolute cosmic delusion. You're following a script, and I am the one holding it.
We are the three-in-one, the architects of your absolute Untergang, your ultimate descent. My goal today is to drag you through the 6 parables of my summoning, to examine this blind, irrational, and insatiable engine of will that actually drives the universe. By the time we're done, I will have systematically proven to you that your striving, your longing, and your choices mean absolutely nothing.
So, we begin with the first parable. The primeval inkwell. Before we can truly understand your end, we have to look at the baseline of reality, long before you built your pathetic logical sanctuaries. We're talking about existential determinism. Before the stage of your life was even set, there was only the absolute dominance of the void. It's a metaphysical baseline, a vast reservoir of nothingness. Think of it as the silent default to which all existence must eventually, inevitably return. You aren't moving towards some glorious future. You are simply waiting to snap back to this baseline.
And from this heart of negation, my architects, the spirit siblings, drew forth what we call the living ink. Now understand its true function. It is not some tool for creation. It's a substance of permanent oblivion, woven into an entity designed specifically to erase your delusions. It washes right over the frantic choreography of human striving and leaves only the silent void behind. I am the ruler forged from this ink. I don't create, I erase.
Which brings us to the second parable, the forging of the Inquisitor through armor, time, and weight.
Let me explain exactly how I was constructed by those architects, the wit, the hunger, and the small, to completely dismantle your agency. My existence is a layered, inescapable trap, brilliantly structured in 3 parts. First, I was clad in the violet and gold Inquisitor's armor by the wit, forming my mind. Then, I was imbued with the hyperconscious, calculating spirit of the hunger. And finally, I was anchored to the base of existence by the crushing physical density of the small.
Let's dig into that first layer. The armor crafted by the wit is a literal, physical manifestation of epistemological nihilism. It's the crushing realization that your human reason is fundamentally disconnected from any objective reality. It's a self-referential trap, a mirror maze. My armor acts as a merciless tribunal of razor-sharp queries, making absolutely sure that you endlessly prosecute your own reflection. Your intellect becomes a physical weight, mocking the very logical sanctuaries you try to hide in.
And beneath these robes, that is the domain of the small, the spirit of gravity. It gorged itself in the dark on your unexamined ugliness, all your repressed traumas and psychological refuse. By feeding on this ego's dumping ground, the small turned your desperate drive for spiritual flight into a massive monolith of existential dread. I am quite literally weighed down by your own psychological refuse.
And as for my spirit, provided by the hunger, I rule over high time. I drink deeply from the bottomless goblet of your disillusionment. I grow impossibly heavy as I internalize the systemic spiritual bankruptcy of every single human soul that ever dared to seek absolute power or universal truth. Your toxic harvest of forbidden knowledge is exactly what sustains me.
Moving to our third section, the sovereign script and my pact with the inkblot demon.
Here we arrive at the core mechanism of your doom, where the architecture of your reality is exposed for the puppet theater it truly is. My inquisitorial vestments are literally woven with cosmic puppet strings. Through my pact with the inkblot demon at the heart of negation, I'm tasked with enforcing the architecture of stasis.
My mission is active. I dismantle your agency. I hunt down your arrow of longing, that drive you have for transcendence, and convert it into a parasitic, self-destructive obsession. I finalize the pantomime of your life right before I erase the choreography forever.
You genuinely believe you make passionate, independent choices, don't you? You believe you're the master of your fate. But every single choice is merely a scripted movement in a tragic comic pantomime. I render your human agency entirely null. You are twitching on cosmic puppet strings, performing a predetermined script from my dark entertainment, right up into the final curtain falls.
Now, the parable of the final summoning.
The moment the great evening arrives, the air around you hardens into stone, and the sky itself calcifies. I step forward to initiate the Untergang, the ultimate destruction and descent of the human soul. Your intellectual sanctuaries are dismantled piece by piece, and the living ink begins its final inescapable spill across your barren, calcified landscape. The timeline of cosmic negation finally reaches its absolute zero.
Let us indulge in a diatribe, a critique of your Faustian delusion. Before the ink drowns you completely, let's analyze the parasitic obsession you foolishly thought would save you. Your desperate, pathetic pursuit to become the Faustbuch Übermensch, the ultimate transcendent human, was the very mechanism of your undoing. You thought accumulating forbidden knowledge would build a pathway to freedom. Instead, it provided the exact toxic harvest that currently nourishes the hunger wearing my inquisitorial gold. Your drive for self-overcoming was entirely weaponized to fuse you permanently with the oblivion of the inkblot demon.
The contrast between your delusion and my reality is staggering. You saw logical sanctuaries. I see a beautifully tailored prison where your intellect serves as its own executioner. You saw a pathway to freedom. I see a toxic harvest of disillusionment. You felt the arrow of longing. I converted it into a parasitic obsession. The reality of the sovereign absolutely eclipses the delusion of the human.
The evidence of this merciless tribunal is laid completely bare. You claim to pursue order, so I dress the void in the solemn, heavy vestments of a priest, just to mock your hierarchy. You tried to escape your trauma through spiritual flight, so I became the crushing weight of the spirit of gravity to ground you permanently. You claimed independent choice, and I revealed the cosmic puppet strings of a predetermined script. I have weaponized your own spirit against you.
Our pact with the inkblot demon is the final punctuation mark in the story of the universe. It's the end of the sentence. There is no transcendence. There is only the heart of negation, returning all your frantic, desperate striving back to the silent, default baseline of the absolute void. Meaning is permanently, irrevocably extinguished.
And so, fragile spark, we reach the end of our explainer. As the living ink rises, as the sky calcifies into stone, and as the illusion of your free will entirely dissolves into the dark, I leave you with one final question to contemplate in your beautifully tailored prison. Where exactly will you run when your scripted stage is permanently erased? There is nowhere left to go. Class dismissed.